If it stayed this cool all the time, it wouldn't be half as bad. Because at least you're able to work and you're able to do something. But in this stinking heat, I'm telling you, you just never get used to the heat. No way that you can. It's a killer all the way around. That's all there is to it. Heat is terrible. I just looked at the temperatures from the 22nd through the 27th of June that we kept track of inside the wards. Now these are air conditioned, mind you, with big air conditionings. Great big. I'd say they. Oh, about big as a 15 by 12 by 12 room, and they stand about 12 feet high, I guess maybe longer, 15 feet high, and about 12 by 12 square. Now these are great big huge things, and during the heat of the day inside with the air conditioning going, it would get to 90 and 98, and some of them 104. Now these all are air conditioned and outside in the sun with the thermometer out, 128 one day, 130 for 2 days, 131, 131, and 128. That's outside with the thermometer sitting in the sun. In the shade, it was 114, 118, 119, and all up in there. And boy, you know, see, it's unbelievable. Inside the wards, boy, it was really, with the air conditioning going. Of course, when if you stay inside of them, they tell me that you're working in there. It does get real hot, but every time I walked in them from outside in the heat, it always felt nice and cool in there. Of course, I never stayed but a few minutes because I'm just going down there on business. And when I talked to some of the guys, I said, "Hell, if you stay in them all day, and you're working there, and you first go in, of course, it's nice and cool." And about 30 minutes later, you begin to feel the heat, and it gets 98 and 104. Well, that's pretty hot. And if you're right in it, and you can notice it. But like I say, there's no air conditioning where I work, and it gets as hot as heck out there. And you walk into the ward, and boy, it feels so nice. And sometimes wish I was working down there, but since we kept the temperature for a week, I could see that it's not the coolest place, but it's better than 130 degrees at any time. So it's it's better than where I work anyway. At least part of the day, it's comfortable in there, and you can stand it. It feels real good. Maybe about 11 o'clock till afternoon, and the sun beats down real heavy. It gets pretty hot, I'm sure. It's probably when you really start feeling the change in the inside. I'd say. Well, I had my cyst cut yesterday, and they couldn't get it all out because it was already infected. It popped one night. I was sitting in the movie, and I felt something running down my neck, and it popped, and so I told the doctor about it. So he looked at it and he said, "Well, no," he said, "we'll just let it go ahead and drain. It should all drain out, and we don't even have to cut it." He said, "Then it'll go away." Well, that was the day after it popped. So that night, I had my shower and went to bed. And the following morning, the thing was right back, filled up. So I went over to wash and shave, and while I was washing, it popped again and started draining. And so I thought, well, maybe it'll just keep on draining. And no, but it didn't. Like I say, it closed back up, and by next morning again, it was filled up. So I thought, well, I'm going down and see him and let him look at it because it's going to have to. I want him to cut it out. I can't have that thing like that all the time. So I went down and asked him to please cut it out, and he said, "Well, okay." Told me to come back at 1 o'clock. So I went back, and he looked at it and he cut it. And so he said, "Well, there's a little infection there, so he said, I can't do no more than just lancing and have to put a drain in it. Otherwise, I'd take the whole thing out and sew it up." But he said, "I can't do that because of the little infection you've already got." And he said, "If I close it up, then you're going to get more infection after suturing it." So he said, "We'll just put a drain in it and put a bandage over it." I'll see you in a couple days and take the train out. So we did. I went back today. No, it's no, only yeah, stayed in there one day, 2 days, day and a half. Okay, and so he pulled it out today, and I guess he said it looks pretty good. So I hope so. Uh, put a band-aid on it. So I guess maybe it's okay. It hurt when he pulled the thing off, but it doesn't hurt right now. So I guess it's all right. I hope so. Anyway, I can't see it. Yeah. Well, it's right down, sort of back of the earlobe and right under it. Got a pretty good sized cyst came up there. Uh, Started out real small, and then got a little bigger. And I thought, well, I didn't fool with it either, by the way. I didn't pinch it or nothing, so I didn't cause it. I know what you're thinking or what you're going to say. So in about 3 days, boy, it was up there pretty good size. Got real tender, and like I say, one night I went to the movie and outside, and just sitting there, and the thing just popped. I felt stuff running down my neck. Put my hand in there, and the thing was draining. So I had a handkerchief, and I used that all the time I was sitting out in the movie. I came back in, had gone down almost, completely, with the exception of one small knot that was there. That I didn't fool with it, so I figured, well, probably drain out the rest of the night. But when I got up next morning, it was all there again, closed up and filled up. So now that he cut it, I hope it all stays away. Yeah, I just don't want it. I want to go through that again. Boy, did that ever hurt when he cut it. Wow. Froze it all right, but not enough. Held him cut, and he stuck that stinking forceps in there, and spread it wide open. Whoa. Thought I was going to shove my head right through that litter. So, uh, it don't feel bad now. Felt kind of hurt when he pulled that drainage out this morning. But otherwise, right now it feels pretty good. And I hope it stays that way. Uh, well, I see I'm getting down towards the end of the tape. I guess I can make a little bit more. Uh, Getting shorter every day. Now the time is really dragging. I wish it would hurry up and pass by. Uh, it just seems to be dragging slower and slower and slower. I guess it's because I'm getting shorter and shorter and shorter. But anyway, it's too slow for me. So it's got to go a little faster, I hope. So uh, I'm going to have to start signing off. This tape is getting down there pretty close. So uh, I hope I can get out of here on leave for those 7 days. Uh, I certainly hope so, anyway. So I love you both so very, very much and miss you something terrible. It's not going to be very long now that I'll be able to pack up and leave here, ready to come home. And it's going to be a mighty, mighty, mighty happy day when I get